Imagine a normal day on Earth. The sun still shines. The sky looks the same. Life goes on. But 8 minutes ago, the sun disappeared. What follows is not an explosion, but a slow and unstoppable collapse of everything that makes Earth alive. In this video, we explore what would really happen if the sun vanished step by step through science. If the sun were to disappear instantly, something unexpected would happen first. For nearly 8 full minutes, life on Earth would continue as if nothing had changed. The sun would still shine in the sky. Daylight would remain exactly the same. Birds would continue flying, people would go about their daily routines, and the planet would appear completely normal. This happens because light does not travel instantly. Sunlight takes approximately 8 minutes to reach Earth, crossing the vast distance between our planet and the sun at the speed of light. During those 8 minutes, Earth would still be receiving the last light ever emitted by the sunday. We would be looking at an image of a star that no longer exists, completely unaware that our primary source of energy had already vanished. But the moment those 8 minutes pass, everything would change at once. Daylight would end instantly. There would be no gradual sunset, no dimming of the sky, and no warning signs. The sun would simply vanish from the sky, replaced by complete darkness, even in the middle of the day. Stars would suddenly become visible across the entire sky. Constellations, normally hidden by sunlight, would appear immediately, creating a night sky unlike anything ever experienced in human history. The moon, if visible at the time, would stop reflecting sunlight and fade into darkness as well. Earth would be left illuminated only by distant stars and faint cosmic light. Despite this sudden darkness, temperatures on Earth would not drop right away. The planet would still retain heat stored in the oceans, atmosphere, and land. For a short time, the surface would remain relatively stable, giving the illusion that conditions were not yet catastrophic. However, the process of heat loss would begin immediately. Without the sun, Earth would no longer receive any incoming energy. Every second, heat would escape into space through radiation with nothing to replace it. Within hours, surface temperatures would begin to fall noticeably. Clouds would start to freeze, and weather systems driven by solar energy would begin to collapse. Winds would slow as temperature differences across the planet disappeared. The atmosphere would gradually become still, cold, and unstable. Photosynthesis would stop almost instantly. Plants, algae, and phytoplankton, the foundation of nearly all life on Earth, would no longer be able to produce energy. While plants would not die immediately, the countdown would begin. The sudden loss of sunlight would also disrupt biological rhythms. Many species rely on light to regulate sleep cycles, migration patterns, and behavior. Within minutes, ecosystems around the world would enter a state of confusion, followed by rapid collapse. The disappearance of the sun would not cause an explosion or a dramatic shockwave. Instead, it would mark the beginning of a silent and unstoppable decline. For the first 8 minutes, Earth would appear unchanged. But the moment darkness arrives, the planet's fate would be sealed. What begins as an ordinary day would quickly turn into the end of life as we know it. Light isn't the only thing the sun provides. The sun also holds Earth in orbit through gravity. Gravity travels at the speed of light, meaning that 8 minutes after the sun disappears, Earth would no longer feel its gravitational pull. At that moment, Earth would stop orbiting and begin moving in a straight line through space. Not flying away dramatically, just drifting forward at its current orbital speed, about 30 kilometers per second. The solar system would effectively collapse, with every planet continuing its motion independently through space. Without the sun's energy, Earth would cool faster than most people expect. Within 1 week, The average surface temperature would drop below -17 degrees Celsius, 1 degree Fahrenheit. Oceans would begin to freeze from the surface downward. Only deep underwater regions near geothermal vents would remain warm. Photosynthesis would stop almost immediately, causing plants to die within days. This would trigger a collapse of the food chain. Most animals would not survive the extreme cold and lack of food. As temperatures continue to fall, Earth's atmosphere would begin to freeze. Carbon dioxide would turn into dry ice and fall from the sky. Eventually, even nitrogen and oxygen would condense and freeze onto the surface. Earth would become a frozen, airless world, similar to a rogue planet drifting through space. The oceans would freeze almost completely, except for deep layers insulated by ice. Could anything survive? Surprisingly, some life might persist. Deep beneath the oceans, near hydrothermal vents, certain microorganisms could survive for thousands or even millions of years. These life forms don't rely on sunlight, but on chemical energy from Earth's interior. Human survival, however, would be nearly impossible without advanced technology. Only hypothetical underground habitats, powered by nuclear energy, could sustain life temporarily. As time passes, Earth would grow colder and colder. The planet's surface temperature would eventually stabilize just a few degrees above absolute zero. Any remaining heat would come solely from radioactive decay deep within Earth's core, a weak and fading energy source. The oceans, once teeming with life, would be locked beneath kilometers of solid ice. Above them, the continents would remain frozen indefinitely, shaped only by slow geological processes rather than weather or erosion. Earth's atmosphere would no longer exist in any recognizable form. Over thousands to millions of years, frozen gases would either settle onto the surface or slowly escape into space. What was once a protective envelope of air would become a thin, almost non-existent trace surrounding the planet. With no sunlight, no weather, and no active biosphere, Earth would enter a state of near-complete stillness. Plate tectonics might continue for some time, driven by internal heat, but even that activity would eventually slow. Volcanic eruptions would become increasingly rare as the planet's interior cools. From the outside, Earth would look less like a planet and more like a relic, a silent, frozen sphere carrying the geological record of a once-living world. Any remaining life, if it existed at all, would be confined to deep underground environments or near ancient hydrothermal systems, surviving on chemical energy alone. But even these last refuges would not last forever. Given enough time, Earth would become entirely lifeless. Yet, despite its frozen state, Earth would not be destroyed. It would persist unchanged for billions of years, drifting through the galaxy as stars are born and die around it. Long after humanity, long after life itself, Earth would remain. A dark monument to a fragile balance that once existed between a planet and its star. The sun is not just a source of light and warmth. It is the reason Earth is alive at all. Without it, our planet would not explode or disappear. It would simply fade into darkness, preserved, frozen, and forgotten among the countless worlds wandering through space. The sun may seem ordinary, but it is the reason Earth exists as it does. Without it, life, motion, and stability would vanish almost instantly. If you enjoyed this calm exploration of extreme cosmic scenarios, consider subscribing to the Space Perspective for more clear explanations about space, the universe, and the science behind it. And if this video helped you see our planet a little differently, A like lets us know and helps more people discover it.